Happy New Year. I am T Rex, and I want to introduce a brand new podcast show, which really is not a new podcast show, but we flipped the names around. Maine and Recx, we have the main event in the building.
In the building. What's going on, T Rex?
Hey, I'm happy to be here. It's a God blessed day, and we have a lot to talk about. That we want to give people some spiritual food throughout our topics that we're going to be covering today.
Man, I'll tell you like this, man. I'm so excited to be back on the air with you and doing the things that we love to do. This is just one of the tip of the iceberg as of right now, man. I mean, what else can I say about it? I mean, it's such a great thing, and I'm blessed to be with you right now.
Likewise, we've been doing this for over 8 years, and now we are entering our ninth year. 2020 is here, and let's go ahead and get on the topics that we have to cover today.
Year 40 for me, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. This is year 40 for me. And one of the big topics that we talked about, that's been talked about, is the state of hip-hop. And in a November interview, Dr. Dre says that hip-hop is producing more quantity than quality right now. And I can't help but agree with him on so many levels on this. First off, T Rex, I'm gonna get your thoughts on this, and then I'm gonna read some quotes out of this interview in regards to this.
Well, I definitely feel the same way, and that's probably one of the reasons why I kind of don't listen to it as much now. I'm more into the contemporary Christian pop, hip hop, and gospel music now. It is so saturated with all the music that's out there, and like you were saying, that it doesn't hold us. It doesn't have a message. It's more like a jingle. People are rapping jingles or singing jingles just to get people dancing, but it doesn't have any kind of substance behind it.
Exactly. And that was one of the things that Dre said in this interview. He said, right now I really have to really search hard to find something that I really like as far as hip-hop goes. But I think that it's more about the substance. Right now it feels like more quantity over quality. Made a song last night, need to put it out tomorrow. What are we going to dedicate ourselves to? The art or the money? Is that simple? Which makes total sense to me. I mean, because when you look at it from that standpoint, you look at all these rappers that got songs out right now. It's 3 words and then a beat, and then they repeat those same 3 words over and over and over again. You don't have anybody dropping any kind of bomb verbiage or anything like that. You just got 3 words. I love you. It's something like that, man, and it drives me absolutely nuts. I don't get it. I don't.
Now, don't get me wrong. Now, I embrace it because every generation changes. We feel that way with some of the music that our parents and grandparents may have listened to, even though that is some good music, but every now and then there was some stuff you'd be like, wow, I can't believe they listen to that. So I'm not going to just down it because I know today's generation likes that kind of music. But as for our older heads, including me and you, we like substance. We like to hear storytelling. I don't mind dancing. Yes, we did have some music back in the 80s and 90s that was catchy or it made us dance and didn't really have anything about it. But when you turn on the FM radio now, that's mostly what you hear all the time. You don't hear a Kendrick Lamar dropping verses or Outkast or any conscious rapper. You hear pop this, I'm gonna take this, Molly, and stuff like that.
Right.
It just bothers us. That's like noise going into these kids' ears.
You look at how it evolved from the '80s, where you had the beat and then you had the voice. Then to the '90s,
Right.
where you had the lyricists and the poets come out, like the Rakims, the Tupacs, the Biggies, the Nas's, Dre's, Eminem's. I mean, I can go on and on about this, but I mean, it's such a hard thing to talk about without saying, hey, Migos did this, Migos did that. Well, Migos got their style from another 90s group called Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Right.
But you can actually hear their bars, whereas you can only hear one person's bars in that whole group.
Yeah, and that was funny. Bone, yeah, you can understand it. Even though they're rapping fast as oh no what, you can actually understand what they're saying. But like today, not today, a couple of days ago, we went to a basketball game and they was playing some music. I think it might have been by DaBaby. I couldn't understand anything he was saying because it sounded like gibberish. I was trying, because I'm a music head, so I tried to listen to it. I just couldn't grasp what he was actually saying in his music.
You couldn't grasp it. I mean, and it goes back to this: how these younger rappers now that have died recently, like the Juice WRLDs, the kid that died with the seizure. Was that Juice WRLD or?
Yeah, that was Juice WRLD that had the seizure in the airport.
Then the other kid that got killed. I mean, we don't talk about the Nipsey Hussles right now. We're talking about young kids, 20 and 21, and we're calling them legends. So, if we're gonna call everybody legends, then is that a slap in the face to the real legends like the Tupacs and the ones before them, the Jam Master Jays, the Beastie Boys? I mean, is that a slap in the face to them?
No, I don't really think it's a slap in the face. People, we love to compare. It doesn't matter if it's music, sports. We always want to compare who's the greatest or whatever. Really, we don't need to have those lists as far as who's the greatest. But I do get what you're saying, because the rappers today, they're dying very young. A couple of them died at 21. And we already call them a legend. I understand that, but in order to be a legend, you have to accomplish a lot of things. And in my mind, being a legend, you have to do something positive as well to help lift your community, your family, and influence people in a positive manner. Not telling people go pop Molly and get drunk. I don't feel like you are a legend when you're putting out that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm gonna put it this way. I'm not gonna name any names, but this young man, he died at 25. He put out 7 albums. 4 of those albums was posthumous, and in 3 of those albums, he actually talked about how he was gonna die and things of this nature. Mm-hmm. He also did 7 movies, and he sold over 215 million albums. If you know who that is, then you should know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think you might be talking about Tupac.
Exactly. I mean, and I'm going to put it like this. Anybody who says that Tupac is not the greatest rapper of all time, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but it's blasphemous. Some of these people say that, he's top 5 this, top 5 that. They want to put guys like, I don't even know, J. Cole over him. J. Cole's put out 2 albums, 3 albums, tops. And 2 of those albums were multi-platinum, but he had no real voice in what he was saying. It was no conscience to it. To me, I mean, he's a conscious rapper, but he's not as conscious as everybody thinks he is. I mean, if you listen to his lyrics.
Well, J. Cole, man, he put out some good stuff. Of course.
Not to knock J. Cole. I mean,
I was gonna say you can't knock J. Cole.
Not to knock J. Cole. I mean, because I like J. Cole. I like some of his music too. But I mean, for them to say, "Hey, he's one of the best of all time," no, you got something a little bit better than him. You got something that if you go battle rap with him, mm-hmm. He would probably lose, and probably lose hard. Probably lose his brain.
Well, I'm going to defend J. Cole, because J. Cole has released 5 studio albums, 1 live album, 3 compilation albums, 2 extended plays, 3 mixtapes, 50 singles, 22 as a featured artist, 2 promotional singles, and 21 music videos. J. Cole is grinding out there, and I think he is one of the better rappers. He's probably someone I will listen to, and I have in the past, but like I said, I have kind of moved away from today's hip-hop, even though I still have my ear to it because of what we do, and we're here to help artists. So you make sure you get with us. We grind for you all. But I am more listening to like the K Love station on iHeart Radio and just more contemporary Christian music.
I mean, and not like I said, not to knock J. Cole, because I think J. Cole's a great rapper, but it's just don't put him higher than what he is right now, because he's still in that grinding stage. He's not at that legendary status yet, you know.
No, I didn't say anything, but I didn't put him in the legend.
And that's exactly what I'm saying, T-Rex. It's like
okay.
A lot of people are gonna like misconstrue what I'm trying to say when they're not really listening to what we're saying, you know. Right. Don't say that J. Cole's the best rapper in the world, you know, or best rapper ever, when he still hadn't put in all the work that Tupac's done, or all the work that Biggie did, or the work that Jay-Z's done, or Nas, or anybody like that, you know, who's done those things. So we got to give him some time to cultivate. I guess that's the better way of putting it, instead of like just putting him on this pedestal right now. I mean, we're talking about Eminem not being the best rapper alive because he's white. I mean, and that's some of the misconstrued points.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's some of the misconstrued points that I'm talking about, man. Is that right. we don't give enough credit to those who have come before us, and we don't give enough credit to those who are up and coming, who are putting out the right things to everybody, the positivity, and we glorify those who really should not be glorified, for real. I mean, let's just be for real about that. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that.
Yeah, I get it. We quit to judge or jump on the bandwagon when people pass away. Show these guys or girls or women or men love when they are here, because when they pass away, everybody talking about how much they love them and everything. If you really love someone so much, somebody would have been in Juice WRLD's ear telling him, man, you don't need to be taking this. You don't need to be flying with 80 pounds of marijuana. Mm-hmm. He didn't have that positive person in his ear.
Right.
So people can't just be like, man, I love him. If you really love somebody, you're going to make sure they do not harm themselves or anybody going to harm them. And that's what gets me when everybody want to jump when somebody pass away, when you didn't have anything to do with that person. But when they dead, you just like, man, I ride for him or her. And okay. That bothers me.
Case in point. Can anybody name one Nipsey Hussle song?
You know, Running All My Life, yes, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people are like, well, we used to listen to Nipsey Hussle, this and this, that. Okay, so if you listen to Nipsey Hussle, name a song other than the ones that he had out. Name a song off an album. You know, if you can do that, then cool. I might ride with you on that level, but
right.
Until you actually like listen to the grind that they put out. I mean, don't say you wrote for this guy when you only wrote for him for one song. That's just the bottom line.
Don't just talk about your goals for 2020. Get healthy with us. Our facilities offer state-of-the-art equipment and 24/7 access with all of our membership plans. Call or come by for your personal tour today at Workout Anytime Valley.
Gonna talk some basketball now, man. The NBA live in person. I'm really wanting to talk about this whole situation with Kevin Love. We all know that Kevin Love is back in a bad situation all over again. He was in a bad situation at Minnesota when they didn't build around him. He's in a bad situation at Cleveland with nobody around him. T-Rex, this guy signed a 4-year deal, extension, thinking he was going to be playing with some of the elite, and now he's not playing with the elite. He's playing with some novices and some rookies. What do you think needs to happen with him and this organization?
Well, the trading deadline is coming up next month, so I'm thinking the reason why he's acting childish, he's trying to get his way out of there, and that's one way you can do it. Somebody annoy you so much, be like, man, you know what? We got to ship this person out, get rid of him. Like you said, he did sign a 4-year, $120 million contract. following the 2017 season with